everyone, and welcome back to Cerebral Tech Solutions. My name is Justin Miller, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to work on planning a network, building a diagram so that we can take it into a simulated environment to get it working before deploying it to actual hardware. So without further ado, let's get to the computer and get started. So today we're going to be in a Word document, and we're going to name it, put a title on it, use the title feature. Now this doesn't matter what it looks like, it's just we gotta get the basic info to present to whoever we're proposing the network for. So since it's our internal network, we're going to Cerebral. Now that we put a title on the document, now we gotta break it down. How many departments the company has, who is remote, who's on site. For this case scenario, it's gonna be on site. An IT network, an accounting network, management network, and a marketing network. So, on the document, we're gonna write default global network. I like to use the .10 range because everybody uses 192.168, and that's generic. We don't need that. Now, that's our global network that our router is going to be configured with. And then in that router, we're going to configure what's called VLANs, virtual networks. And these virtual networks are going to be our different departments. So first, let's write out the different departments, and then we'll head into the web browser and go to a subnet calculator to do the subnet calculating for us, where we can configure that based off how many people we have. Now that we have that down, we're gonna go into each department and see how many people we have. That'll tell us how many IP addresses we need to reserve for each department based on the number of people we have now versus how many we want total. Again, this is an imaginative number right now, but in the real world, when you're doing this, you're going to want to get this information from your client so that you can then configure the network appropriately. Now that we have that figured out, let's head to the web browser and look up a good subnetting calculator. For our IT department, we only need 10. This would be our first network. Okay, now we got the first network of the 28. Now we want to cap off 15. However, we gotta use the next network address to subnet it correctly. So the next network would be 16, so we use all IP addresses, but the next subnet would be, we want 30 IP addresses, which would be 27. Now that we got all the network math mapped out, now we can build the diagram and be able to present that to executives for approval for equipment and stuff. But while we're waiting on that, we'll go into the next episode and build the actual environment in a simulated environment called Packet Tracer. But for now, let's go back into the document and build the diagram. So now we build the diagram. So now we go through and pick diagrams. So then it's going to be able to talk to all the other networks. And we're going to look for the switch. So we're just going to use the default switch icon. Get from that, and then switch contains so it talks about being the 24 network, and then goes into the switch then goes to all the different departments. Then when we take this plan, save it. And save it to where you'll know where it's gonna be. I'm gonna actually put it in this project folder. Videos, playing network, assets, and I'm gonna save it right here. And then you would take that PDF and give it to your executives for planning. And that's how you plan out a network. Thank you guys for joining me so much in planning this network. Next episode, we'll get into actually building out the network in Packet to see it actually run and function in a real network before deploying it in an actual environment. If you have any questions, please leave them below. As always, down below while you're there, please like and subscribe to the video. It would really help me out. I also have a link to Buy Me a Coffee page. If you could please support the channel through Buy Me the Coffee, I'd be greatly appreciated, as it helps me pay to produce this content at the high quality you deserve. That's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed planning out this network. Lab it out yourself and see what you can do. Until next week, keep labbing, keep researching, and I will see you in Packet Tracer next week. Bye for now, friends.